poštovani gledalci. Uživo ste na kanalu Radio i televizije Atlas i pratite vašu omiljenu emisiju iz kulture koja nosi naziv Pop Kvart. Na samom početku ću da kažem da i danas, kao što i to u svakoj emisiji imamo Facebook, Twitter i SMS konverzaciju ili ti debatu i ovoga puta od vas želimo da čujemo koji je to vaš omiljeni moment iz 2012. godine, šta ćete zauvijek pamtiti, šta se to ključno da vas desilo 2012. godine. Ukoliko pišete putem Twittera, možete nakon što napišete rečenicu ili tweet da stavite tarabu nakon koje ćete napisati Pop Kvart, a ukoliko se javljate putem Facebooka, dovoljno je da lajkujete našu stranicu koja se nalazi na adresi facebook.com/Pop Kvart. Ukoliko se pak javljate putem telefona, to jest SMS-a, dovoljno je da vašu poruku pošaljete na broj telefona 14999. Dakle, želimo da čujemo šta je to vama obilježilo 2012. godinu. Opet ću da kažem da ćemo one najaktivnije u našoj konverzaciji na kraju i nagraditi. Mi odmah krećemo sa prilozima iz sfere umjetnosti i dizajna i prvi nam dolazi iz Njujorka. Bračni par koji se zove Don i Mera Rubel jesu zapravo poznati kolekcionari, a ukoliko i vi želite da budete kolekcionari umjetnosti i umjetnina, valjda će vam ovi savjeti koji će vam dati upravo ovaj bračni par.
We had a fast and furious love affair, 3 months without ever saying a word to each other across a library table, and the next thing we know, you proposed to me. And then how do we end up with our first piece?
I was in medical school and we head off for the summer. And what happened? We were supposed to be playing tennis. We were somewhere in France and we decided we would do something different. We started going to the galleries.
And then we have the money, we actually buy a print.
Yes, and that's the beginning.
Interestingly enough, when you engage with young artists, they're very anxious for you to really own their work.
They were very happy to be paid off on a weekly basis because oftentimes we were the only visitors they had during the week. Mira earned $100 a week and we devoted $25 a week to buying art, at which we had to spread it among 5 different artists. And it really hasn't changed. It's still probably 25% of our income to this day goes to buying art.
Not more. People always ask us, how do we begin? It's frightening to begin because you know, you don't want to make a mistake, you don't want to look foolish, you don't want to be wasteful. The advice is to begin. Collecting art is a personal journey. You're going to collect the art that speaks to you personally, the art that has something to do with who you are, your ambitions, your fantasies, your childhood experiences. But in order to allow that to happen, I think reading, museum going, to some extent you kind of have to prepare yourself. Maybe you relate to a gallerist that you feel you can trust, and it could be a beginning of a relationship where they guide you and teach you, because they're more than happy to do that. One thing at the art fairs, they're very accessible. They're right there in the booth.
A lot of people, when they start off looking, they'll make the statement that I don't know anything about art, but I like it. Well, I think that's a great first step. I think, you know, I can't imagine ever putting something on the wall that you don't like. But I think you have to go a little beyond that. If an artist only makes one piece that you like, you probably shouldn't buy the work of that art. So I think you shouldn't be rushed into it. You should take your time. You should think about it a little bit. Doesn't hurt to walk away and think about it. And you should absolutely look at other things, that the other pieces that the artists make. You should look at things in other galleries, so that by the time you reach this end point, by the time you commit yourself to buying it, you're comfortable with the fact that you've at least done some comparison shopping.
A u Park Avenue u Njujorku umjetnica Anne Hamilton izvela je interesantan interaktivni performans.
My name's Anne Hamilton, and the project here is called The Event of a Thread. The first component really is the space, you know, and the volume of the armory, which is the space between Lexington Avenue and Park Avenue. So it's an entire city block between 66 and 67. And that's really where the project begins, is in responding to that volume. The center is the white cloth that we call the weather. The curtain is not actually dead hung from the space, but it's held by the swings and their weight. And so what happens is that the field of swings and the field of motion that are in the center are made animate and kind of in constant shifting turbulence by the weight and presence of people. So that center motion and the relationships between the cloth and the swing and the counterbalances are bracketed in the space by two objects, and the only thing that actually sit on the floor. So at one end there's a very large wooden table, and it has two readers that I'm working with actors in the community that are part of City Company, and they are reading concordance text to a flock of pigeons that are in wooden cages and sit in very close proximity to the readers. And so the reading, the address of the reading is very intimate. At the other end there is another wooden table, a little bit smaller, and it has a writer. And the writer is writing by hand letters that are addressed to human emotion and places far away. One of the things at that table is that there's a large mirror, a convex mirror that rotates, and the movement of the mirror is a consequence of the movement of the cloth. So the view the writer has is a consequence of the motion of the congregation of people gathered. The readers each have a microphone that is a radio broadcast from each of the readers that is transmitted to radios that are inside individual paper bags. It puts the voice quite literally in your hand as you walk around the space, and if you keep one on either side of you, it's like you're being read to.
His soul is starved air. How moving is it not in the total?
And so it has this intimacy in a very large volumetric space. The other sound that you hear is that some of the swings are connected at the very top up to the catwalk to a set of accordions. So the air that's animating the cloth is also passing through single reeds up in the ceiling. One of the things that's been interesting to sort of feel as we've been at the table is that the birds, they settle. You know, I think they register the rhythm of the voice, they register the company, and this whole piece is really, in many levels, about a kind of sociability and the possibilities of that, of gathering together across difference. This has sort of been one of the spots looking up where people have sort of have laid on the floor and spent a lot of time. And the piece really, it changes, you know, it's like it has one kind of quality during the daytime where we've opened up all the windows, and it has, you know, very different quality at night. I did a lot of experiments with different kinds of cloth to see what would sort of have enough weight but also kind of carry the turbulence. So this is a silk twill. You know, there's a lot of animal-human relations in here, and of course this just continues it. The title of the piece, Event of the Thread, actually comes from a phrase of Annie Albers. In her definition of weaving, she talks about that a cloth is the event of a thread. A cloth is made by two things crossing, and this piece is then about the possibility of you crossing with the many elements and their associative lives.
A sad ćemo vam predstaviti jednog od slikara festivala Pulse u Majamiju.
Your tenido ocasión de hacer alguna exposición individual en esta ciudad.
Of making a nice exhibition in this city, Miami.
Precisamente de los deseos ocultos de estas.
And in this work, the artist talks about the hidden desires, the hidden wishes.
De estas cuestiones íntimas que casi nunca hablamos o contamos.
Questions that we never talk about.
I've been here a number of years now. I think I've shown work here for the last 5 years or so. This particular work was over a series of maybe 4 months or more, maybe 5 months. It's a good fair. I like it. People react well to my work, and yeah, it's a good audience here.
A u Moskvi je predstavljena izložba predmeta Sovjetskog saveza i tamo se nalazi sve od fotoaparata Zenit pa do automobila Moskvić. Vidite kako je tamo. U muzeju dizajna u Moskvi izloženi su predmeti koji oslikavaju život u Sovjetskom savezu od 1950. do 1980. godine, a među njima se može naći sve, od fotoaparata Zenit do automobila Moskvić.